Hey everyone, this is Satnam here from 𝗟𝗏𝗀 Academy. Recently, I had mentioned that Pearson has added a lot of new questions in summarized written text. And what I've actually done is I've just combined all these questions and I've demonstrated. We'll do it again. Okay. Hey everyone, this is Satnam here from 𝗟𝗏𝗀 Academy. Recently, I had mentioned that Pearson has added or updated their question bank for summarized written text, and these new questions are coming quite frequently in the test. So what I've done is I have done an explanation of these videos using our very own 𝗟𝗏𝗀 AI. And for those of you who are new to PTE or who are resuming the PT after quite some time, I'll just show you a couple of quick things about a summarized written text. Now, the very first thing with summarized written text is that I want you to remember you have to write the summary between 5 to 75 words and you have to use only one full stop in your answer. The second thing is this section carries your scores towards both writing and reading. It carries 14% of your writing scores and about 16% of your reading scores, which makes it really important. It is one of the key components to get a good reading score. If you go further and have a look in this, you must focus on content recognition. Now, for content recognition, there are three things. There are three questions you should always ask yourself. What is the main idea of the summary? So for that, you need to skim and scan the question. Number two, what are the crucial details necessary for supporting those main ideas? You need to focus on topic sentences. Now, topic sentences can be found through intro, conclusion, or conjunctions. When I'm solving these questions, have a look, how do I identify topic sentences? And the last question is, what information is irrelevant or unnecessary? That means try to avoid unnecessary examples or direct quotes. Try to avoid those things. If you go forward, I just want you to remember a couple of things. Whenever you're doing a summary, try to work within the framework. The framework is simple. Include the main idea. That means identify the main idea. The second thing is, when you summarize passages that are really long or have got multiple paragraphs in them, try to extract the key idea from each paragraph. Okay? Omit ideas that are not really central to the text. Sometimes what happens is some ideas are just like repeated too many times. Try to avoid them. In general, try to omit minor details or very specific examples. Just try to. I'm not saying you must, because sometimes the content can be there. And one of the most important thing is, please avoid writing your opinions or personal responses in your summaries. You just need to sum up the text. You don't have to give your opinion, your idea. Is it clear? So remember, practice it with the proper timer and get an idea how to identify topic sentences. And for those of you who want to know what is the new questions that we should be expecting, these are the new questions that Pearson has added in. I've already done these two questions before, and the rest of them will be done from here on today. Please have a look how to identify these topic sentences, and once you go through these videos, I'm sure you do not need to worry about understanding this question again. And for those of you who are looking to train for PT or NAATI or IELTS, or please feel free to contact us. We have our campuses in Gold Coast and Brisbane. We do offer face-to-face as well as online classes. And if you just want to try the AI, please get a free 3-day free trial to our 𝗟𝗏𝗀 AI PT practice software and try these questions on. So let's not waste our time. Let's start with the questions. So let's start, everyone. Let's start with the summarized written text. So earlier I was mentioning that I've already solved this summary, which was on dogs. I've already done bank overdraft. Today I'll be doing something which is called deep sea minerals. Let's start with this. Now, before I start this summary, I want you to remember a couple of things about summarized written text. Now, the first thing that I want you to remember is when you're doing your summary, try to include the main idea. Focus on topic sentences and omit all the unnecessary information. One very important point that I mentioned before was that if you have multiple paragraphs, try to put those try to extract the main ideas from each paragraph and try to put it into your answer. All right, let's have a look. Let's go through it. So first of all, let's quickly skim and scan this question. So I can see Oceanography Center, research, deep sea mineral resources, carbon technology, deep sea mining. NOC is doing some kind of volcano research. Metals grow quickly. 9 billion people on Earth. They've done some research again. resources. Okay, so what I can see is that this summary is about some kind of research that is done on the ocean resources. Okay, so let's start reading through it. So it says that the National Oceanography Center, NOC, is engaged in research into the potential risks and benefits of exploiting deep sea mineral resources, some of which are essential for low carbon technology, as well as using the ocean robots to estimate the environmental impact of these potential deep sea mining activities. Okay, so they're extracting some minerals. All right. Last year, the NOC led an expedition on the RRS James Cook that found enough of the scarce element tellurium present in the crust of the submerged volcano that if it were all to be used in the production of solar PV panels, could provide two-thirds of the UK's annual electricity supply. Fair enough. Recently, the NOC also led an international study demonstrating deep sea nodule mining will cause long lasting damage to the deep sea life, lasting for decades. Okay. These nodules are potato sized rocks containing high levels of metals, including copper, manganese, and nickel. They grow very slowly on the seabed over millions of years. Although no commercial operations exist to extract these resources, many are planned. Professor Edward Hill, executive director at the NOC, commented that by 2050 there will be 9 billion people on Earth, and attention is increasingly turning to the ocean, particularly the deep ocean, for food, clean supplies of energy, and strategic minerals. Fair enough. The NOC is undertaking research related to many aspects and perspectives involved in exploiting ocean resources. This research is aimed at informing with sound scientific evidence the decisions that will need to be taken in the future as people increasingly turn towards the oceans to address some of the society's greatest challenges. Okay. What I learned from this summary in general is that there has been a research that is being conducted by this institute called the National Oceanography Center. It's about how the minerals are being extracted from the deep sea bed, and also like what will be the impact. That's what I learned from here. Now remember what I told you, like go through each paragraph and find one of the key ideas. So let's start with this one. In this case, if I was to focus on topic sentences, as I always mentioned that there are three simple ways: intro, conclusion, and through conjunctions. Over here, look at this one. The National Oceanography Center is engaged in research into the potential risks and benefits of exploiting deep sea mineral resources. Okay, you don't have to mention this, that these minerals are essential for low carbon technology as well as ocean robots. So it's essential. And the next part from here up until here is just explaining why is it essential. So if I was to write that down, if I would just write this down, that the National Oceanography Center is engaged in research into the potential risks and benefits of exploiting deep sea mineral resources. Okay, let's just stick to this one. I would just want to talk about that this center is engaged into the research into the benefits of exploiting the deep sea mineral resources. Okay, now let's have a look at this. I'll just change this for some reason. Okay, now going to the next one, it goes further into the details. Like last year, the NUC led an expedition on the RSS James Cook, a submarine that was enough of the scarce that found enough of the scarce element tellurium present in the crust of a submerged volcano. We really don't need this because they are just giving an example that we've got enough mineral, which is called tellurium, that could be enough to provide enough solar panels that we can that could provide electricity, like two-thirds of UK's annual electric supply, not needed. The key point over here is recently the NOC also led an expedition, an international study demonstrating deep sea nodule mining will cause long-lasting damage. Yep. So because this is a unique point. So first one is we have benefits from the mineral resources. The second one over here is that If we continue, it will also damage. Okay, so let's just write this down. So we can just simply write the NOC also led an international study demonstrating deep sea nodule mining will cause long lasting damage to deep sea life, lasting at least for decades. Okay, let's move on to the next one. I can expand my dialog box. Okay, then we've already mentioned that they're demonstrating how deep sea nodule mining. Now these nodules are potato sized rocks containing high levels of metals including copper, manganese, and nickel. They grow very slowly on the seabed. You don't have to explain. So this paragraph here is the explanation of these deep sea nodules. So we do not need to go into like a detailed explanation of what these nodules are, how these nodules are developed. If you go further, now they're talking about a comment that was given by Edward Hill, who's the executive director at the NOC. His comment is that by 2050 there will be 9 billion people on Earth, and that's why we are moving all the attention towards the deep sea for food, clean supplies, energy. Okay, the NOC is undertaking the research related to many aspects and perspective involved in exploiting deep ocean resources. That's right. So they are doing, which we already mentioned, that they are doing this research. Okay, now what is the aim of this research? This research is aimed at informing with sound scientific evidence the decisions that will need to be taken in the future as people increasingly turn to the ocean to address some of the society's greatest challenges. Okay, let's just go with this. So if I just combine this and I just say like the research aimed at informing with sound scientific evidence the decisions that will need to be taken in the future as people increasingly to the oceans to address some of the society's greatest challenges. Okay, now if you carefully look at this, our word count is 78 already, and I haven't even combined the summary as yet. So definitely we will need to cut through something and see how can we go into this. Okay, so let's have a look. The National Oceanography Center is engaged in research into the potential research and benefits of exploiting the deep sea mineral resources. Okay, how about I remove this and I just bring it back and I just simply write over here as it, that it is referring to the National Oceanography Center, as it also led an international study demonstrating deep sea nodule mining will cause long lasting damage to deep sea life. Okay, and last damage to deep sea life. If we think we can, I don't think we would need so much. And what if I did this? Hence, it aimed at informing. Okay, now if you carefully look at this,
And if you carefully read through your own answer, and if I would just make it up short, so let's have a look through this. So it says the National Oceanography Center is engaged in research into the potential risks and benefits of exploiting deep sea minerals. So there's one point that this agency is engaging into the potential risk and benefits of exploiting deep sea mineral resources. Uh, the second point is they're going through, it also focuses on the damages to the deep sea life. And it also, the last part over here says that they actually are providing evidence to demonstrate all these features of the research. All right, let's say if I submit. Before I submit, just remember that I haven't included any irrelevant information. Is it clear? So let's submit and see what scores we get. All right, so according to the AI, we have a perfect score over here. We got 90. So we got deep sea minerals here. If you look at this, was my answer. My content is right, my form is right, my grammar is absolutely right, and vocabulary. Okay, some of you might be thinking that, is it all right if we copy these sentences from the passage as it is? Yes, you can. The vocabulary basically can come from the conjunctions that you will be adding into your answer. So please do not stress about like having the same sentences or the same words or phrases in your answer. Feel free to do it, but make sure that when you type, there should not be any error. All right, over here I had the autocorrect to help me out. That's because I purposely turned it on in my computer. As such, the AI does not really help you out with that. So please make sure that when you're doing this task, you do the summaries carefully. Remember those three basic questions that I've mentioned before.
So I hope that I was able to help you understand the topic, sentences, and the main idea of this summary. If your exam is around the corner and you want to try this summary by yourself, then please get a 3-day free trial access to the 𝗟𝐶𝐴 PT practice software. And for those of you who are new to PT or are resuming your classes once again and are looking to get a desired score, come for a free trial class or a consultation and attend a face-to-face classes or online classes from a Gold Coast or a Brisbane campus and get your desired scores in your very first go.